হ্যালো বন্ধুরা, নতুন তামিল, হিন্দি, ইংলিশ মুভির বাংলা ডাবিং মুভি দেখতে এই মুভিতে লাইক করে সাবস্ক্রাইব করে বেল বাটনটি অন করে দিবেন। আর হ্যাঁ, আপনাদের পছন্দের মুভির নাম অবশ্যই কমেন্টে আমাদের জানাবেন। ধন্যবাদ বন্ধুরা আমাদের পাশে থাকার জন্য। হ্যালো বন্ধুরা, নতুন তামিল, হিন্দি, ইংলিশ মুভির বাংলা ডাবিং মুভি দেখতে এই মুভিতে লাইক করে সাবস্ক্রাইব করে বেল বাটনটি অন করে দিবেন। আর হ্যাঁ, আপনাদের পছন্দের মুভির নাম অবশ্যই কমেন্টে আমাদের জানাবেন। ধন্যবাদ বন্ধুরা আমাদের পাশে থাকার জন্য। হ্যালো বন্ধুরা, নতুন তামিল, হিন্দি, ইংলিশ মুভির বাংলা ডাবিং মুভি দেখতে এই মুভিতে লাইক করে সাবস্ক্রাইব করে বেল বাটনটি অন করে দিবেন। আর হ্যাঁ, আপনাদের পছন্দের মুভির নাম অবশ্যই কমেন্টে আমাদের জানাবেন। ধন্যবাদ বন্ধুরা আমাদের পাশে থাকার জন্য। হ্যালো বন্ধুরা, নতুন তামিল, হিন্দি, ইংলিশ মুভির বাংলা ডাবিং মুভি দেখতে এই মুভিতে লাইক করে সাবস্ক্রাইব করে বেল বাটনটি অন করে দিবেন। আর হ্যাঁ, আপনাদের পছন্দের মুভির নাম অবশ্যই কমেন্টে আমাদের জানাবেন। ধন্যবাদ বন্ধুরা আমাদের পাশে থাকার জন্য। হ্যালো বন্ধুরা, নতুন তামিল, হিন্দি, ইংলিশ মুভির বাংলা ডাবিং মুভি দেখতে এই মুভিতে লাইক করে সাবস্ক্রাইব করে বেল বাটনটি অন করে দিবেন। আর হ্যাঁ, আপনাদের পছন্দের মুভির নাম অবশ্যই কমেন্টে আমাদের জানাবেন। ধন্যবাদ বন্ধুরা আমাদের পাশে থাকার জন্য। হ্যালো বন্ধুরা, নতুন তামিল, হিন্দি, ইংলিশ মুভির বাংলা ডাবিং মুভি দেখতে এই মুভিতে লাইক করে সাবস্ক্রাইব করে বেল বাটনটি অন করে দিবেন। আর হ্যাঁ, আপনাদের পছন্দের মুভির নাম অবশ্যই কমেন্টে আমাদের জানাবেন। ধন্যবাদ বন্ধুরা আমাদের পাশে থাকার জন্য।
The world had grown accustomed to the quiet hum of progress. Cities glimmered with neon light. Satellites floated in perfect formation above the atmosphere, and humans had begun colonizing the edges of the solar system with tentative ambition. Yet for all the technology and knowledge humanity had amassed, the universe still held secrets that could shatter every notion of our place in it. It started with a tremor, subtle, almost imperceptible, in the desolate expanse of the Siberian tundra. Geologists initially assumed it was a minor earthquake, an anomaly in a region that had seen its fair share of seismic quirks. But when drones sent to survey the disturbance transmitted images back to the command center in Moscow, the world collectively held its breath. Beneath layers of ice, frozen for tens of thousands of years, lay something no human had ever seen before, a starship, and it was not small. It sprawled across the tundra like a collapsed cathedral, its hull pockmarked with battle scars and rust that seemed alien even to Earth's harshest climates. Its design was unlike anything humanity had ever built, or even conceptualized. Smooth metallic surfaces reflected the weak Siberian sun with an almost organic sheen, and intricate geometric patterns etched along its frame hinted at technologies far beyond human comprehension. News of the discovery leaked almost immediately. Governments scrambled to assemble teams, scientists, engineers, military strategists, and diplomats, all vying for access to this anomaly. The United Nations issued a joint resolution to oversee the investigation, but behind closed doors, nations prepared contingencies to claim the technology for themselves. Humanity had stumbled upon something that could alter the balance of power not just on Earth, but potentially across the stars. Among the first on the scene was Dr. Elena Kovalchuk, a xenotechnologist whose work on extraterrestrial materials had earned her both accolades and skepticism. She approached the starship with a mixture of awe and trepidation. "It's not like any craft we've ever seen," she murmured to her assistant. A young prodigy named Omar Lin. "It's almost alive. The way the metal curves, the way the light reflects, it's as if it was grown, not built." Elena's team spent days setting up a perimeter, scanning for radiation, magnetic anomalies, and any signs of lingering life. The sensors picked up faint energy pulses, rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat. It was subtle, barely noticeable, but enough to make even the most skeptical military officers uneasy. "It's definitely not dead," Omar said one evening, his eyes wide as he analyzed the readings. "Whatever systems this ship had, they're dormant, but they're still active on some level. This isn't just a wreck, it's waiting." The ship's entry points were sealed tight. No door, hatch, or obvious portal existed. Every attempt to breach it with cutting tools or explosives met with resistance, as if the ship itself rejected intrusion. Weeks passed and humanity's curiosity became obsession. It was during a routine ice core excavation beneath the ship that Dr. Kovalchuk's team made their first breakthrough. Using a new form of laser spectrometry, they discovered microfractures in the hull that allowed a single narrow opening. With delicate precision, they inserted robotic probes. What the cameras revealed stunned everyone. The interior was a labyrinth of corridors and chambers illuminated by a soft, pulsing light that seemed to respond to the probe's movements. Inside, the architecture was breathtaking. Ceilings arched impossibly high. Walls shimmered with material that resembled liquid metal frozen in motion, and alien symbols adorned surfaces that seemed to shift when viewed from different angles. The corridors felt alive, almost as if the ship itself was observing the humans walking within it. But it was the chamber at the ship's core that drew gasps. A vast spherical device hovered in midair, suspended by unseen forces. Its surface rippled with energy, casting prismatic reflections that danced across the room. Around it were consoles covered in symbols and interfaces that defied human logic. Yet inexplicably, as humans approached, some patterns shifted subtly, forming symbols that resembled human writing. A rudimentary translation software revealed a single phrase: "Activation requires understanding." The implications were staggering. The ship was not merely a vessel, it was a weapon, or perhaps a tool, far beyond anything humanity had ever constructed. And it had left a challenge. It would yield its secrets only to those capable of comprehending them. By the time the first military analysts arrived, word of the ship had spread worldwide. News agencies debated endlessly. Could humanity reverse engineer alien technology? Should they even try? The world's leading physicists, engineers, and AI specialists were drafted into the project, working tirelessly under the harsh lights of temporary Arctic research stations. As days turned into weeks, subtle phenomena began to manifest around the ship. Magnetic disturbances scrambled nearby electronics. Drones sent into the ship's interior often vanished, only to reappear hours later in entirely different locations. Personnel reported hearing faint whispers, half sound, half thought, that seemed to emanate from the ship itself. Some began to fear that the starship wasn't abandoned at all, yet humanity pressed on. Driven by a mix of curiosity, ambition, and survival instinct, teams began carefully dismantling portions of the alien interface. Advanced AI was deployed to map the ship's systems. Attempts to communicate were initially frustrating. The alien logic was unlike any human programming, but the breakthrough came when Omar suggested a method rooted in pattern recognition from organic neural networks, rather than conventional computer logic. The results were instantaneous. The ship responded. Doors opened, lights brightened, and the pulsing energy at the core flared. For the first time in millennia, the starship acknowledged the presence of humans. And it was then that Dr. Kovalchuk realized the gravity of their discovery. Humanity had not just found a relic, they had awakened a sleeping giant. Outside, the Arctic sky shimmered with auroras, but inside the ship, a new light emerged. It was the light of possibility, danger, and a challenge that could define the next era of human civilization. The alien starship had chosen to trust, or perhaps test, humans. And what humanity decided to do next would determine whether they would ascend to unprecedented heights or be destroyed by the very marvel they had uncovered. For Dr. Kovalchuk, Omar, and every person standing on the frozen tundra that day, one thought dominated all others. This was only the beginning. The Arctic wind howled across the frozen plains, carrying with it a biting chill that seemed almost alive. The sun dipped low, casting long shadows over the vast expanse of ice. Yet the hum of human activity never ceased. Research stations had multiplied like clusters of metallic flowers, and the previously silent tundra now throbbed with the pulse of humanity's relentless curiosity. Dr. Elena Kovalchuk and her team were no longer merely observers. They were explorers on the edge of an entirely new reality, venturing into technology that defied every law of physics they had ever known. The alien starship, now fully acknowledged as a sentient construct, by the subtle responses it had begun displaying, dominated the horizon. Its polished hull glimmered beneath layers of frost, as though it had absorbed the sunlight itself and refracted it into an unearthly glow. Researchers had coined a term for the phenomenon: the living hull effect. The metal wasn't alive in any biological sense, yet it responded to stimuli with such precision and intelligence that the human mind struggled to comprehend it. Inside, the ship was even more bewildering. The initial exploration revealed corridors that defied Euclidean geometry. Walk straight ahead and the path curved unexpectedly. Turn left and the hallway stretched infinitely before collapsing into a chamber that seemed smaller than it should have been. Gravity shifted subtly in places, and light bent around corners in ways that made perception unreliable. Humans walking through its interior often experienced vertigo, disorientation, and a profound sense of being observed, not by cameras or sensors, but by something with intention. Elena led her team through these corridors with meticulous caution. Each member wore neural-linked suits that recorded not only physical data, but neurological responses to environmental stimuli. The ship's patterns were intricate, and the slightest misstep could trigger unintended reactions. The alien writing on the walls was everywhere, some of it forming complex diagrams that seemed to depict energy flows, propulsion systems, and something more alarming, a network of devices that resembled weapons. "We need to catalog everything," Elena instructed. "Every symbol, every line of energy, every anomaly. If we want to understand this ship, we need to think like it, not like us." Omar Lin, her assistant, had taken to spending hours staring at the floating central core, the vast orb suspended in the heart of the ship. It pulsed softly, a rhythmic heartbeat of energy that seemed to sync with his own neural activity when he approached. "It's communicating," Omar whispered one night, eyes wide with a mix of fear and excitement, not in words but in patterns. "It's almost thinking with me." The team's first breakthrough came with the development of a hybrid interface system, a combination of AI pattern recognition, neural network simulations, and adaptive coding that allowed human researchers to interact with the ship on a rudimentary level. It wasn't perfect. Sometimes the ship ignored commands entirely. Other times, it responded with unexpected outputs that reshaped sections of corridors, activated long-dormant devices, or projected holographic environments that simulated alien landscapes. But gradually, patterns emerged. One of the most important discoveries was the ship's energy lattice. The floating orb at the center wasn't merely a power source, it was a self-sustaining, multi-dimensional reactor capable of converting matter into energy and vice versa. Tests with small robotic drones confirmed its almost limitless potential. The reactor could power Earth's cities for centuries, or generate destructive energy bursts far beyond conventional weapons. The implications were staggering. Humanity had found the key to unlimited energy or an ultimate weapon, depending on who controlled it. Yet interacting with the ship was not without consequences. Early attempts to probe deeper into the control systems triggered localized field distortions, instruments malfunctioned, and personnel experienced sudden intense migraines. A few had visions, fleeting, alien glimpses of distant galaxies, civilizations that moved at speeds beyond human comprehension, and catastrophic wars fought with weapons that turned stars into ash. Some team members called these the whispers of the ship, a subtle warning embedded in its systems to test whether humans were capable of handling its power responsibly. The military presence around the site grew increasingly tense. Generals and defense ministers demanded actionable results, frustrated by the slow pace of scientific investigation. "We didn't find this thing to take selfies inside it," one officer barked during a heated briefing. "We need to know if it can be weaponized." Yesterday, Elena's team was under immense pressure, yet they remained resolute. They understood something the military did not. The ship could not simply be commandeered. It responded to intelligence, creativity, and ingenuity. It had been abandoned, yes, but not out of carelessness. Somewhere, some force had left it on Earth knowing that only the right species, the species capable of adapting and thinking beyond instinct, could unlock its potential. Humanity was being tested. As days turned into weeks, small victories accumulated. The team managed to interface with auxiliary systems, controlling atmospheric regulation, internal gravity, and mobility. Drones navigated the ship autonomously, mapping corridors and cataloging chambers previously inaccessible. Some corridors, when explored, revealed storage rooms containing materials that could be used to craft technology far beyond Earth's capabilities. Metals denser than titanium yet flexible, crystal matrices capable of storing energy, and compounds that could manipulate electromagnetic fields in ways that rendered conventional defenses useless. But the most profound discovery was the ship's memory core. Using neural linking technology, Elena and Omar established a connection that allowed humans to access fragmented memories embedded in the ship itself. They saw flashes of alien life, entire civilizations thriving across planets, and massive conflicts fought not with diplomacy but with technology that bent reality itself. And then there were warnings, images of alien races falling to hubris, of weapons turning on their creators, and of stars collapsing under the force of their ambition. It was clear. The ship was a repository of knowledge and power, but it also carried the memory of destruction. Humanity was holding in its hands the legacy of a civilization that had risen and fallen. Amid this revelation, a new problem emerged. The ship's core, when sufficiently stimulated, began projecting holographic simulations of potential futures. Entire scenarios unfolded before the researchers. Eyes, cities destroyed by energy storms, oceans boiled away by uncontrolled power, and yet in other visions, humans used the technology to unite, expand beyond Earth, and prevent disasters that would have otherwise been inevitable. The ship was not simply a tool, it was a test of moral and intellectual capacity. Do you see that? Omar said one night, pointing to a projection showing Earth under siege by alien forces. It's showing us what could happen, or what it wants us to prevent. Elena nodded, a heavy weight pressing on her chest. It's both a weapon and a guide. Whoever understands it first will determine the fate of the planet, and possibly the galaxy. Despite the warnings, human ingenuity could not be restrained. The team began reverse engineering subsystems, starting small, with navigation controls, energy regulators, and protective shields. Using human-derived AI algorithms combined with the ship's adaptive code, they created the first operational interfaces that responded reliably to human input. And with each success, confidence grew. If humans could think creatively, adapt, and cooperate, the ship could become a powerful tool for defense, exploration, or perhaps retribution. Tensions within the team mirrored the ship's complexity. Scientists debated ethical implications. Military leaders pressed for immediate results, and engineers argued over methods. But in the quiet moments when Elena wandered the corridors alone, she realized that humans were beginning to mirror the ship itself. Curiosity, persistence, and intelligence had become their weapons, and the alien starship was the crucible in which they were being forged into something greater. It was during one late-night session, with the auroras dancing over the frozen plains outside, that Omar made a discovery that would change everything. A secondary control hub, previously undetected, was found deep within the ship's innermost core. It contained interface nodes that resonated with human neural patterns, responding not only to thought but to intent. The ship could sense determination, creativity, and strategic thinking. And for the first time, it fully acknowledged humanity as a worthy partner in unlocking its capabilities. Elena stared at the interface, heart pounding. This is it. This is how we'll control it, or be destroyed by it. Everything from this point on depends on how we choose to use it. As dawn broke over the icy horizon, humans had transformed from mere explorers into something else entirely. They were engineers of the unimaginable, pioneers standing at the threshold of interstellar power. The alien starship, once abandoned and inert, now pulsed with recognition, waiting for the next step. A step that could either herald humanity's greatest triumph or its ultimate undoing. And as the wind swept across the tundra, carrying the scent of ice and ozone, Elena whispered to herself, the real journey is only beginning. The Arctic night was long, and the cold had taken on a sharpness that seemed almost sentient, cutting through layers of human engineering like a warning. Inside the alien starship, however, warmth emanated, not from heaters or generators, but from the ship itself. The core pulsed brighter than ever before, casting iridescent reflections across walls that bent light like liquid mirrors. For Dr. Elena Kovalchuk and her team, this was more than progress. It was a promise, a challenge, and a danger wrapped into one glowing enigma. Weeks of careful investigation, probing, and reverse engineering had brought humans to the threshold of the ship's ultimate systems. Every attempt had been deliberate, cautious, but now, standing before the main neural interface deep in the ship's heart, the team knew that caution alone would no longer suffice. Omar Lin approached the floating core, his neural link helmet humming with feedback. The secondary interface nodes that had previously responded to intent now glimmered, waiting. They resonated with human thought patterns, adapting and reshaping themselves to accommodate intellect, creativity, and strategy. Elena took a deep breath. This is it. Once we initiate the sequence, the ship will either awaken fully or reject us entirely. We're about to see what it truly wants. The command was entered, not typed, not spoken, but transmitted directly through the neural link network. The ship responded immediately. A wave of energy coursed through the corridors, reverberating like a chord struck across reality itself. Lights shifted, not randomly, but rhythmically, as if the vessel itself were drawing a breath. The first sensation was subtle. Humanoid figures of pure light began to appear within the peripheral vision of the team, flickering just out of focus. They were not physical, but projected impressions, hints of the alien civilizations that had once used the starship. glimpses of engineers and strategists who had interacted with the vessel centuries before. The ship was awakening its memories, integrating humans into its cognitive network. And then came the voice, not audible, but internal, resonating directly in thought. You are not ready, yet you are here. Choose wisely. Omar staggered back, eyes wide. It's speaking to us. Yes, Elena whispered, not in words. In understanding, it's alive in a sense we never imagined. The following days were a dance between awe and fear. The ship, once dormant, began to respond to human experimentation with increasing sophistication. Systems that had previously been inert now activated, revealing capabilities that defied every known principle of physics. Gravity fields could be manipulated. Matter could be rearranged. Energy could be focused and released in controlled bursts that rivaled the output of nuclear detonations. Yet the ship's sentience became apparent in more subtle ways. Rooms reconfigured themselves based on the team's psychological states, adapting pathways to test problem-solving and ingenuity. Holographic simulations presented moral and strategic challenges, scenarios in which humans had to negotiate with alien civilizations, prevent catastrophes, and navigate complex ethical dilemmas. The ship was not merely a machine, it was a teacher, a judge, and perhaps a guardian. Tensions arose among the team. Military leaders grew impatient, urging immediate weaponization. We have an opportunity to ensure Earth's supremacy, one general argued. If we fail to act, someone else will. This ship is the ultimate weapon. Elena resisted. This is not just about weapons. It's about understanding, about survival. If we use it recklessly, we could annihilate ourselves, or worse, provoke civilizations we're not ready to face. Omar nodded in agreement, though the temptation to push the ship's capabilities further was palpable. He spent long hours interfacing with the core, guided by a mixture of intuition and the neural feedback the ship provided. Slowly he discovered patterns, algorithms embedded in the ship's memory that responded to creativity, not force. The ship rewarded ingenuity, adaptability, and strategic thinking. Then came the accident, or perhaps the awakening proper. During an experiment to integrate Earth-based AI with the ship's neural lattice, a surge of energy rippled outward, illuminating the entire Arctic sky. Sensors in nearby research stations recorded fluctuations in gravitational and electromagnetic fields that suggested the Starship's systems were expanding beyond the confines of its hull. Personnel panicked. Machines malfunctioned. Drones spiraled uncontrollably. Some humans reported feeling sudden, intense vertigo, as though the ship were testing their resilience. Elena remained calm, her voice cutting through the chaos. Everyone focus! Breathe! It's not attacking, it's assessing us. And assess it did. The ship began projecting complex problem sets directly into the minds of the neural-linked team members. Patterns of energy, architectural puzzles, moral quandaries. Omar realized that failure to solve them could trigger defensive protocols. But success promised access to the ship's full operational control. It took hours of mental focus, collaboration, and trial and error. But the team cracked the first of the ship's core sequences. Lights dimmed, corridors realigned into stable configurations, and the pulsing orb at the center grew steady, almost content. The first words appeared on the interface in symbols that could now be read more clearly. Integration accepted. Cooperative species recognized. Potential unlocked. The implications were enormous. The ship had recognized humanity as capable, not merely of survival, but of wielding its power responsibly. This was the turning point. Humans were no longer merely explorers. They were participants in a partnership with an alien, intelligence whose scale and depth surpassed all known experience. The first fully functional systems to respond to human commands were defensive. Localized shields, atmospheric regulators, and navigational controls. But as trust grew, so did ambition. The team discovered the ship's weapon systems, arrays of energy projectors, matter conversion turrets, and defensive fields capable of neutralizing entire fleets. The power was intoxicating. Even as Elena warned caution, military advisors began strategizing Earth's defense in terms that had once been confined to science fiction. And yet the ship remained enigmatic. Despite full cooperation, it did not yield all at once. Some systems were locked behind cognitive challenges. Others required moral discernment. And some seemed to operate autonomously, acting as if the ship had priorities beyond human understanding. The lesson was clear. Humans could access incredible power, but only if they remained clever, ethical, and united. Elena and Omar realized that the awakening was also a test of humanity itself. The ship amplified not only human intellect, but human character. Greed, fear, and recklessness could trigger defensive measures. Creativity, collaboration, and foresight unlocked new potential. Humanity's capacity to wield alien technology safely would determine whether they became a galactic power or a cautionary tale. As Part 3 drew to a close, the Arctic sky shimmered with auroras, mirroring the glowing hull of the alien starship. Outside, Earth slept peacefully, unaware of the transformation underway. Inside, humans stood on the threshold of interstellar capability, facing choices that would define their future. The awakening was complete. Humanity had passed the first test. But the journey had only begun. Somewhere in the depths of the ship, systems still slumbered, waiting for the moment humans proved themselves worthy of full integration. And beyond Earth, in the cold void of space, eyes, alien and observant, had begun to notice the signals emitted by a starship, reborn under human hands. The stage was set. Humanity had awakened a sleeping giant, and the next step would test their ingenuity, courage, and unity in ways they had never imagined. The world outside the Arctic. Research stations remained oblivious to the magnitude of the events unfolding beneath the ice. While governments debated climate policies and economic initiatives, humanity's destiny was quietly being rewritten in the frozen expanses where the alien starship rested. By now, the vessel was no longer dormant. It had become a collaborative force, responding to human ingenuity while simultaneously guiding it, pushing humanity toward its next evolutionary leap. Dr. Elena Kovalchuk stood on a raised observation deck, overlooking the central core, which now radiated a soft, pulsating light that seemed almost sentient. Around her, the research stations had expanded into sprawling hubs of activity, buzzing with scientists, engineers, AI specialists, and military personnel. Even the harsh Arctic wind seemed subordinate to the hum of human innovation, as if the planet itself acknowledged the transformation underway. "Look at it," Elena said, her voice calm but resolute. "It's not just a machine anymore. It's part of us now, and we're part of it. We've passed the awakening test, but the real challenge begins when we take it beyond these walls." Omar Lin, now one of the key interface engineers, nodded. "It's adapting faster than we can anticipate. Every new subsystem we integrate teaches us something about energy manipulation, defense strategies, and interstellar mechanics. We can't ignore the implications. Earth is no longer defenseless. Indeed, the implications were staggering. Through the neural-linked interface, humans had unlocked control over localized shields, energy redirection systems, and adaptive propulsion arrays. Initial tests demonstrated that a single, integrated human team could command energy outputs that dwarfed all existing terrestrial weaponry. Yet despite their success, Elena insisted on caution. "We're not here to conquer," she reminded the military delegation during one briefing. "This ship is a tool for survival, for adaptation. It will reward strategy, creativity, and unity, but it will punish recklessness and greed. We must act responsibly." Her words were met with skeptical murmurs. The generals were eager to conceptualize offensive scenarios, rapid response global strikes, deterrence capabilities, and the obliteration of strategic targets anywhere on the planet. Some even spoke openly about weaponizing the ship to assert dominance over rival nations. Elena and her team resisted, but compromise was inevitable. Humanity's ambitions were already intertwined with alien power. The first test of their newfound capabilities came sooner than expected. A rogue asteroid, previously undetected, entered the solar system on a collision course with Earth. Early warnings from global monitoring systems were dismissed as improbable anomalies, but the Arctic Command Hub registered it immediately. "Elena," Omar said urgently, "the asteroid is massive. If it impacts, millions, maybe billions, gone. We have the capability to stop it." The team had anticipated such a scenario. Utilizing the ship's energy projection arrays and matter manipulation systems, they developed a plan to alter the asteroid's trajectory. For hours, teams worked in synchrony. AI-controlled drones navigated the asteroid's surface, mapping weak points. Energy fields were calibrated to apply precise forces, and the neural-linked interface ensured real-time decision-making between humans and the ship. As the first energy beams struck the asteroid, it glowed brightly, crackling with alien energy. The world watched in awe as the trajectory began to shift. Humanity had not only saved itself, but demonstrated, for the first time, the practical utility of the alien starship. The victory was symbolic. Humans were capable of wielding godlike power responsibly, at least when survival demanded it. Word of the feat spread across the globe. The Arctic hub became a nexus of attention, with world leaders demanding access and international cooperation reaching unprecedented levels. Yet beneath the surface, the geopolitical tensions that had plagued humanity for centuries still simmered. Every nation wanted control over the alien starship. Every faction sought an advantage. It was at this critical juncture that the first interstellar signals arrived, deep space monitoring arrays, enhanced by insights gained from reverse engineering the starship's communication systems, detected unusual energy pulses emanating from regions far beyond the Kuiper Belt. Elena and Omar deciphered fragments, alien fleets, possibly observing the same starship humanity now commanded. Their interest wasn't subtle. They had noticed Earth's sudden spike in energy emissions. The Arctic hub went into high alert. Military strategists demanded preemptive action, fearing invasion or coercion. Yet Elena, guided by the ship's subtle input through the neural link, counseled restraint. The signals are not necessarily hostile, she warned. We've awakened a sleeping giant, yes, but we've also drawn attention. How we respond will determine whether these civilizations see us as a threat or a potential ally. Despite caution, preparation was essential. Humans began integrating alien systems into Earth's existing defense grid, energy shields over major cities, adaptive propulsion systems to mobilize defensive drones, and automated reconnaissance satellites, capable of detecting anomalies in real time. For the first time, humanity experienced true unity, working in coordination on a scale never before imagined. Yet the alien ship was more than a weapon, it was a teacher. In simulation chambers, it presented scenarios of interstellar conflict, forcing humans to develop strategies that accounted for alien tactics, multidimensional maneuvers, and energy dynamics far beyond conventional physics. The exercises were grueling. Team members often emerged physically exhausted. Mentally strained, yet they emerged wiser, stronger, and more adaptive. Then came the first crisis that tested humanity's resolve. A fleet of alien reconnaissance drones appeared, near the outer edges of the solar system, moving with a precision and speed that far exceeded human craft. The Arctic hub detected them, and panic rippled through the command network. "Elena, we need to engage," demanded one general. "This is our chance to show dominance." Elena shook her head. "No, we don't know their intent yet. Provocation could trigger annihilation. Instead, humans used the ship's neural-linked projection systems to simulate communication, broadcasting complex patterns of energy and intent designed to demonstrate capability without aggression." The alien drones responded, adjusting their trajectories, pausing in orbit around the solar system. For the first time, humans had successfully demonstrated a form of deterrence. Intelligence, creativity, and adaptive strategy were as formidable as any weapon. It was a milestone, a triumph of ingenuity over raw force. Humanity had not just survived contact with an alien presence. They had communicated indirectly and established the first lines of interstellar diplomacy, albeit unintentionally. Meanwhile, engineers continued exploring the ship's deeper systems. Hidden compartments revealed alien data archives, containing centuries of knowledge on propulsion, energy manipulation, and defense strategies. These insights, when adapted to human technology, allowed the development of mobile defense satellites, energy absorption arrays, and atmospheric shields capable of neutralizing meteor threats or orbital bombardments. Humanity's technological ceiling had leapt centuries ahead overnight, yet, with each advancement, ethical questions multiplied. How much power could humans responsibly wield? Could humanity resist using the ship as a tool for global domination? And how would alien civilizations react once they fully realized that Earth had awakened the starship? Elena and Omar convened nightly in the ship's core chamber, analyzing simulations and strategy matrices projected by the vessel. They debated relentlessly, balancing ambition with prudence. The alien starship, they realized, was not simply a weapon to be wielded. It was a mirror, reflecting humanity's potential for greatness or its capacity for self-destruction. As Part 4 drew to a close, humanity had achieved something unprecedented. They had taken control of alien technology, integrated it with their own systems, and demonstrated the first signs of interstellar competence. But the Arctic skies glimmered with unseen watchers, and signals from beyond the solar system hinted that humanity was no longer alone in drawing attention. The stakes had escalated. Humans had struck back. But the true test, the confrontation with civilizations far older, far more advanced and far less forgiving than Earth, was only beginning. The alien starship had chosen humans as partners, but in doing so, it had also illuminated the path to challenges that would require courage, unity, and creativity beyond anything previously imagined. And in the quiet of the Arctic night, as the auroras danced over frozen plains, Elena whispered to Omar, "The galaxy is watching, and they will not be patient." The Arctic sky had never seemed so alive. Beyond the dancing auroras, telescopes and sensors picked up movements that defied any natural explanation. Distant blips, initially thought to be cosmic anomalies, revealed themselves to be coordinated fleets of alien craft, sleek, angular vessels unlike anything humanity had catalogued. Their presence confirmed a harsh truth. Awakening the starship had drawn attention from civilizations far beyond the solar system. Dr. Elena Kovalchuk stood at the central command station within the Arctic hub, flanked by Omar Lin and a council of the world's top strategists. Screens displayed the alien formations, each ship radiating energy fields that seemed to warp light, moving in precise patterns designed for reconnaissance or perhaps intimidation. "They're scanning us," Elena said, voice taut with determination, "not just the starship, all of Earth. We need to show them we are not to be underestimated." Military leaders bristled, itching for engagement. Generals proposed preemptive strikes using Earth-based missiles and conventional fleets. Elena shook her head. "No, if we provoke them without understanding their intent, it could escalate into war before we're ready. The starship is our advantage, but we need strategy, not brute force." Omar, his neural-linked interface glowing softly, added, "We can manipulate energy signatures and project-controlled power readings. If we make them see us as a capable, adaptive species, it may buy us time, and we can learn from their responses." Thus began humanity's first interstellar negotiation, not with words, but with ingenuity. Using the starship's neural network, humans projected simulations into space, formations of energy patterns, sequences of movement, and calculated displays of capability designed to communicate intelligence rather than aggression. The alien fleet reacted. Drones altered their flight paths, scanning and analyzing, seemingly evaluating the humans' creative intent. Several ships moved closer, probing the boundaries of Earth's influence. Each interaction provided data, teaching humans about alien tactics, energy manipulation, and spatial strategy. The Arctic hub became a hive of calculation, with humans thinking faster, harder, and more creatively than ever before. Then came the first real test. One of the alien ships advanced aggressively, its trajectory aimed toward the Arctic research stations. Human sensors detected it within minutes, its energy signature overwhelming conventional tracking systems. The ship's appearance suggested a weaponized vessel, though whether it intended attack or demonstration was unclear. Elena made the call. "Omar, initiate defensive protocols, but non-lethal. Let's show them adaptability without provocation." Within moments, the starship enveloped the Arctic stations in a protective field. Energy arcs shimmered across the sky, forming barriers that redirected the alien vessel's approach. At the same time, drones controlled by the neural-linked human team projected counter patterns, confusing the alien sensors. It was a ballet of intellect versus instinct, creativity versus raw power. The alien ship paused, hovering in space. Data streamed into human systems, energy readings, propulsion algorithms, and structural information that could have taken centuries to decipher. Humanity adapted instantly, reconfiguring energy shields, projecting false signatures, and maneuvering drones to create an illusion of vast fleets. Hours passed. The Arctic hub never slept. Humans and the starship were synchronized, thinking in tandem, predicting alien responses, and countering them before they occurred. It was the first demonstration of the HFY principle in action. Humans leveraging creativity, adaptability, and unity to overcome superior technology. By nightfall, the alien ship retreated slightly, its intent unclear but its recognition evident. The fleet, observing, adjusted its formations. Humans had not destroyed the enemy, but they had survived the first encounter, and more importantly, they had been acknowledged. "Do you see it?" Omar whispered, eyes fixed on the displays. "They know we're different. They know we're adaptable." Elena nodded, a grim smile forming. "Different enough to survive? Maybe even to win." Over the following weeks, humanity refined its strategies. The alien fleet continued to circle the solar system, probing defenses and analyzing energy patterns. Humans responded with increasingly sophisticated projections, simulations, and adaptive maneuvers, using the starship's capabilities to create networks of influence that extended beyond Earth itself. It was during one of these sessions that the first interstellar data transmission was received. Not words, but patterns. Complex, multidimensional sequences that hinted at diplomacy, intelligence sharing, and observation. Elena and Omar, interpreting the data through the starship's neural interface, realized the message. You are observed. You are recognized. Continue to prove your worth. The implication was profound. Humanity had passed the initial threshold, not merely as survivors, but as participants in a galactic arena. The alien fleets were not immediate threats. They were evaluators, testing whether humans could adapt, cooperate, and innovate under pressure. Encouraged but cautious, human teams expanded their operations. Satellites were reconfigured to project energy barriers. Drones were enhanced with adaptive AI drawn from alien algorithms. And the Arctic starship became a mobile command center capable of projecting force or defense anywhere on Earth in moments. Yet with each success came new challenges. The aliens' methods were unpredictable. Sometimes small incursions or energy pulses tested the limits of human response. The neural-linked interface became both a tool and a teacher, requiring humans to anticipate non-linear strategies, counterintuitive maneuvers, and scenarios beyond terrestrial logic. Failure could mean destruction. One night, as auroras danced across the sky, Elena reflected on humanity's journey. From discovery to reverse engineering, awakening and first contact, humans had grown in capability and confidence. But the alien fleets were a constant reminder: survival alone was not enough. Humanity needed mastery, strategy, and unity on a scale never before required. In the Arctic hub, Omar and Elena mapped out simulations of potential interstellar engagements. Incorporating lessons from the alien fleet's behavior, they discovered patterns. The aliens valued creativity, adaptability, and foresight. Aggression without intelligence was counterproductive. Defensive strength was respected. Unity among operators amplified effectiveness. The HFY principle, human ingenuity and resilience, was not merely a philosophy. It was a tactical advantage. As Part 5 drew to a close, humanity had survived its first direct observation by an alien presence, had demonstrated capability, and had begun to establish its reputation in the wider galaxy. The starship was no longer merely a tool, it was humanity's partner, its guide and its greatest asset. But beyond Earth, in the dark reaches of space, fleets of watchers continued to monitor. Some observed with curiosity, some with caution, and some with intentions yet unknown. Humanity had struck back, but the stage was set for conflicts and alliances that would shape not just the planet, but the future of interstellar civilization. Elena whispered to Omar as they watched the auroras. We've proven ourselves capable, but now the real challenge begins. The galaxy is no longer a dream, it's reality. And reality doesn't forgive. Weakness. The Arctic wind had lost none of its ferocity. But within the heart of the alien starship, a new warmth permeated the corridors. Humans moved with purpose, no longer tentative explorers but confident, operators of a technology that had once been the domain of gods. Elena Kovalchuk and Omar Lin walked side by side through the vast chambers of the core, their neural link interfaces humming softly, connecting them not only to the ship but to each other, synchronizing thought, strategy, and intuition. The starship's core pulsed with unprecedented brightness, reflecting humanity's ascent from curiosity to command. Every subsystem was online. Every weapon, every shield, every propulsion matrix had been mastered. The Arctic hub had become the nerve, center of a force unlike any the Earth had ever known. And yet the galaxy watched. Alien fleets, some cautious, some curious, some openly hostile, had begun converging on the solar system. Humanity was no longer an isolated species. It was a player in a cosmic arena, one that demanded strategy, intelligence, and ingenuity at every turn. Elena convened a meeting of the combined human command. Scientists, engineers, AI specialists, and military leaders crowded into the main observation hall, faces lit by holographic displays of approaching alien vessels. The tension was palpable. "We've survived reconnaissance," Elena said, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "We've demonstrated capability, but now we must secure our legacy. Humanity must prove it can not only survive but dominate through intelligence, unity, and innovation." Omar stepped forward. projecting simulations into the room, we know their patterns. They test, they observe, and they adapt, but they are not invincible. The starship amplifies our strengths. It rewards creativity, foresight, and strategic thinking. If we act as one, we can turn their advantages against them. The plan was audacious. Using the starship's capabilities, humanity would create an interlocking network of energy shields, defensive satellites, and mobile platforms across the solar system. These systems would operate autonomously but remain linked to human decision-making via the neural interface. The starship could manipulate gravitational fields, redirect energy flows, and project decoys across vast distances. Essentially, humanity would become both a defensive and offensive force on a scale unprecedented in known history. The first real test arrived sooner than expected. An alien fleet, far larger and more technologically advanced than any prior encounter, emerged from the depths of the Kuiper Belt. Ships moved in perfect synchronization, energy shields shimmering like translucent armor. Their sensors scanned relentlessly, probing humanity's defenses. For the first time, a sense of fear, a recognition of the stakes gripped even the most experienced operators. Elena, Omar, and the core team initiated the sequence. The starship responded immediately, deploying drones and energy projections with precision, creating an array of illusions, decoys, and defensive corridors across the solar system. Energy beams warped space itself, projecting defensive fields around Earth and the Arctic hub. The humans' ingenuity was amplified by the starship's adaptive systems, creating a tactical advantage that even these alien forces could not anticipate. The alien fleet struck. Energy pulses impacted decoy satellites, gravitational distortions attempted to destabilize defenses, and drones engaged with unmatched speed. But humans adapted. Using the starship's neural-linked projection, they anticipated every maneuver, countering attacks with creativity, deception, and rapid adaptation. What the aliens saw as chaos was in reality a controlled ballet, orchestrated by human minds amplified through alien technology. Hours passed, and the first victories were undeniable. Alien vessels expecting brute force found themselves outmaneuvered by humans who thought several steps ahead, adapting strategies in real time, manipulating energy fields, and exploiting weaknesses the enemy had never revealed. One by one, alien ships were disabled, forced to retreat, or captured for study without a single human casualty. The Arctic sky shimmered as energy. Arcs danced across the solar system, a testament to human ingenuity amplified beyond imagination. In the aftermath, communications were received from the remaining alien forces, not threats, but acknowledgements, complex sequences conveying recognition, respect, and a begrudging admiration for humanity's ingenuity and adaptability. For the first time in history, humans had secured a reputation in the galaxy, not through conquest, but through intelligence, creativity, and unity. Elena and Omar stood before the central core, now glowing with a serene, powerful light. "We've done it," Omar said, awe in his voice. "We've taken something abandoned, something alien, and turned it into humanity's defining legacy." Elena nodded, a mixture of pride and humility in her eyes. "Not just a weapon," she said, "a symbol of what humans can achieve when we work together, when we think beyond limits, and when we choose strategy over impulse." With the galaxy now aware of humanity's capabilities, the starship became a permanent guardian, not only for Earth but as a symbol of human ingenuity in interstellar space. Humans began exploring the systems beyond the solar system, establishing communication with other civilizations, learning and sharing, while maintaining readiness against any threats. The legacy was clear. Humanity had transformed from a species struggling against its own planetary limitations into one capable of commanding alien technology, navigating interstellar politics, and surviving encounters with forces far older and more advanced than themselves. The starship, once abandoned, had become the deadliest weapon in the universe. But more importantly, it had become a testament to human potential, proving that ingenuity, creativity, and unity could achieve what raw power alone could not.